I'll mainly be talking about myself in this video out of respect of my beautiful audience, which there are two people, maybe three. I'm going to speak mainly about myself and my experiences about trying to move on with life. Um, when I was about 8 years old, October 2013, my great grandfather passed away. Great grandfather, by the way. I was very lucky to have him in my life for 9 whole years. He was an odd fella. I don't know actually. I barely remember him. Half of my lifespan ago was when the last time I saw him, to put it into reference. Yeah, he was a pretty cool guy. I grew up Muslim. So I had to learn a lot of stuff about my religion and certain practices and certain ways to do things like pray and whatever. And my great grandfather taught me all of that. My Dada Jan. That's what we call in my language. I'm going to call him Dada. No, sorry, Dadabu. Dada Jan's grandfather. Dada Jan is grandfather. Dadabu is a great grandfather. So I'm going to call him Dadabu because that's what I like to call him. So my Dadabu taught me everything from reading Arabic, reading the Quran, making my wudu, cleaning myself up when praying, how to use the TV to turn on my favorite cartoons, how to put on a band-aid, how to take a pill like a Panadol and stuff. He was a great guy. Ooh, I just remembered, wait. There we go. He used to have a bunch of these things. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a little glass thing. Has some Arabic inside of it. And he would have a bunch of these things in different sizes, varying sizes. I don't know where he bought them. I think he bought them before I was born. But this is my keychain. I have one there. It's kind of like I have a piece of him with me. Wherever I go, he looks over me. 6 feet under the grave, he looks over me somehow. I don't know how that works. And when he did pass away, it actually was way harder. It took a way bigger toll on me, on my 9-year-old self, than I thought it would. This was the first time I really experienced the loss of a family member in such a big way, especially someone so close and dear to me. It was tough. I cried a lot. I mourned a lot. I always thought about him. I would visit his grave almost once a week for a couple of months after his passing. So how did I get over him? This is why I was saying I'm going to talk about very personal stuff and not talk in general terms, because it's kind of scummy to talk about how you should get over your family members or friends' death, because it's kind of scummy. It's a very personal experience and I don't want to trample all over you. So I just want to talk about how I got over how I moved on from my losses. I'm Muslim, and I know maybe viewers that are watching, they're not religious at all, and that's fine, but I just want to share something. In Islam, we have this concept of mourning. Whenever a family member of ours passes away, we usually 3 days. We are given 3 days after the family member passes away. 3 days we are given to mourning, dedicated to mourning. We usually have family gatherings, and we go over memories of that person. We rummage through their stuff, take all of it, take all the money and all that. No, I'm kidding. But we mourn over him. And then after the 3 days, this is the deal. After the 3 days, you stop and you move on with your life. That's what we ended up doing with my dad at Boo. And I can't remember if it worked out. It was so long ago, but I have memories of it moving forward. We ended up moving houses as well. Kind of a stressful time in my life, so was kind of easier to move on from him in a way because I had my mind on other things, or I have to move houses, or new bed finally. It's still too small for me, but new bed, yay. Or new room, it's the smallest room in the house, but yay, new room. So moving on from him, but that was so long ago, so. But it's also the only time I've experienced the loss of a family member. So now I'm going to talk about something a little more material. My hair. Well, not really material, but still, you know what I'm saying. I'm losing my hair. Doesn't look like it. Well, thank you so much, man. I know my hair looks amazing, but trust me when I say I'm losing my hair. And it's kind of unfair in a way. I'm only 19 years old. Losing my hair kind of takes a mental toll on you because you think, well, what's wrong with me? Or am I deficient in something? I'm not deficient in anything. I just took a blood test a couple months ago. I'm not deficient in anything. So what's happening here? Probably just my genetics. My dad bald. My grandfather bald. My dad was bald as well. So probably just genetics, but it still takes a toll on you. And then you're always thinking, okay, so I can take these medications like minoxidil, finasteride, whatever it may be, do the dermal needling. That's okay. Pause. Dermal rolling your head, and then you have all these side effects to those medicines, and then you're saying, should I take it? Is it worth it? Okay, but then should I do a hair transplant? Okay, that's expensive. I have to go to Turkey. Okay, but I like my hair. You know, I'm 19 years old. I'm just figuring out how to style my hair. But then when I figure out how to style my hair, because I have wavy hair and thick hair, when I figure out how to style it, it all starts going away. So now I have to do this short hairstyle to try and cover it up. And it's unfair. So how do you move on from that? And really, when we want to move on from something and we don't know how to do it, the barrier that's blocking us, from what my experience, is change. The thing that I was scared of in the truth of the universe, in my experience, is change. I think that goes to moving on from anything, whether that be the loss of a family member, loss of a partner or a relationship or a friendship, whether that be the loss of your hair. We're scared of change and changing ourselves as a person because humans are designed for pattern and pattern recognition. I think that's what it is. But we're very used to patterns. We're very used to the norm and being secure and safe. Change is very scary because what if something goes wrong? What if we do the change and it doesn't end up going how we wanted it to? What if stuff becomes worse? Change can be scary, and that's the thing we really are scared of when we want to move on from something. And I can say that's definitely true for my hair, because I'm scared to shave off my head. I don't know what my head shape's like. I don't know if I have a nice head shape or if I'll look like an omelette. You're scared of change. Change is scary, but change is beautiful as well. Change, and nothing great happens without change. That's a terrible quote. Forget I said that. But like, imagine like bodybuilding, changing the size of your muscle, or changing the strength of your muscle, or the endurance of your muscle. I can't think of any more examples, but change is beautiful. And just because you're scared to change doesn't mean you can't. Because courage is being scared to do something, but then still doing it regardless. You have this emotional connection, especially with fear. Just because you're scared to do something, that means you can't do it. It's a genetically installed into our brain through generations of whatever it may be. The tiger eating your dad in front of your cave mother, what you know what I'm trying to say. Like it's genetically, it's hardwired into us. We're scared to do something, so we shouldn't do it because it ultimately leads to the fear of death. I mean, you have this cobweb of stuff, and it all leads to death, including change. If we change, something might go wrong and you might die. So we're scared to change. But that doesn't mean you can't do it, because you're not gonna die. When you change, you're not gonna die. In fact, change is only a win-win scenario, because if stuff doesn't go as according to plan, now you know what not to do, or now you know where your barrier lies, or now you know what you are made of and what other stuff you can potentially change. And if the change that you do results in a positive outcome, then there you go. You changed and you were able to move on. And you will move on eventually, whatever the circumstance may be, as painful as it may be in the short term. Pain doesn't last forever. Time heals all wounds. It's just a thing of how long is it going to take for you to move on from whatever it is you're trying to do.